I'm so nervous. So many of my relationships in my life, my family, friends, romantic relationships, I get so, I guess I'm having a hard time getting the question out. That when something goes wrong, either a friendship dissolves or a relationship or something goes...
When a friendship serves its purpose, when all that I was asking for it has come, is it a failure to move on?
Well, it's
that's like going on vacation and just showing up in the first town and saying, I guess I'll stay here. I guess I'll stay here. Only one restaurant. One little motel with fleas in the bed, but...
But why is it so painful when those things happen? It takes so much out of me when...
We think it's because you're looking at it in a way that your inner being doesn't. Remember, painful always means your opinion and the opinion of your inner being about the same subject aren't jiving. So give us a few sentences of what your pain is about. Focus on something specific and then tell us what's painful about it. I failed at this. Your inner being isn't agreeing, and so the feeling of negative emotion is because your inner being knows you didn't fail. I've lost something. Feels terrible because you're looking at something with such a flawed premise because your inner being knows that nothing is lost.
So it's not because I'm not loving myself enough?
Well, that's the cliche, isn't it? But the reality of it is you're not letting enough of yourself in this moment. That would be another way of saying it. You're not looking at yourself as your inner being is looking at you. Can you find something more specific? You don't have to talk about it in detail, but hold something specific in your mind and then speak those things and let us show you how your inner being is operating from a different premise than you are when you feel that discomfort.
I miss you. I'm not going to be able to be with you and hang out with you anymore. I don't...
Esther went to a graduation of her granddaughter, and it's junior high going into high school. And it's a small school, and there are 18 students, and they have fallen in love with each other. And the faculty and the teachers who were talking about this graduating class said they'd never seen a class of such harmony. And so they're really enjoying each other, but they are not, during the process of this graduation ceremony that Esther is watching, none of them are displaying any tears. She can feel from each one of them, all 18 of them spoke for a little bit, and Esther sat back and enjoyed the auras that she saw spouting out of each of them. And Esther thought, these kids are not sad about moving on, even though they're leaving a small school and they're going to several different schools. Hardly any of them will be in the same school. So they've found this incredible bonding with one another. And they're not breaking up because they don't like each other. There have never been 18 kids that appreciated one another more than these 18 kids. But each of them are eagerly moving on to what's next. It was such a beautiful thing to see. Now their parents are wanting to make more of it. Their parents are thinking, oh, you're never going to see each other again. Their parents are doing all that drama stuff to it. But the kids have more eagerness about where they're going than sadness about what they're leaving behind. They're still reaching for more. And so maybe as you move through time, you sort of lose that sense of what you're reaching for, and you spend more time looking back at what you're leaving behind. But we promise you, when you get ready to leave this gathering, not one of you is going to stand in that doorway and look longingly back at this room. You're going to go have lunch. You're going to get into your transportation and you're going to be on to what's next. And if you're longingly looking back, you're dysfunctional. Because there's always more, always more, always more, always more, always more. And so you can look with appreciation at what has been because it has brought you to where you are. And you can feel eagerness about where you're going, you see. But nothing has gone wrong. You are where you are, and now there's something more. And no matter what happened, you are more for it having happened. And your inner being is exhilarated about it having happened and is taking the new you now to the next new you place. You see what we're getting at? That's helpful, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Enough?
Yes.
Really good.
Thank you.
going to do my best to articulate my question. As I understand and as I practice and as I am in the process of fulfilling my desires on an individual basis.
As I'm in the process of allowing the universe to fill my desires because of my clarity. Yeah?
Yes.
My steadiness of focus.
Yes.
My not waffling back and forth. I want it, where is it? I want it, where is it? I want it, where is it? Yeah?
As I do that and as I become happier and more fulfilled, and as I emanate that to those around me, okay, on an individual basis for myself, I'm doing that. And if I feel I have a greater calling within me to do more than just fulfill my desires, but to be more for others and to be...
Well, it's a normal thing for some of your desires to include things that you want to be in terms of an uplifter for others, but it's still your desire, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
How does the collective consciousness come into play? Can you help me with that?
Yes, because the collective consciousness, it's sort of what we were talking about just now. The collective consciousness knows what everyone wants and knows what role you might happily play within the parameters of what you desire. We talked about that we're going to select you and we're going to have a conversation, and the conversation is going to be of the greatest benefit to the greatest number of desirers in the room. Everybody's not going to have an opportunity to sit in this chair, but everybody's going to have an opportunity to get what they came for, because what they desire is pulsing and we can see it. And we understand the path of least resistance. And so it's the same with you as individual teachers. You got that clearly, didn't you?
I think I did, because I think what you're saying is as long as I'm happy in fulfilling my desire, and my desire is that reaching out and touching more people and help make their dreams come true possibly, that's still my individual desire.
Because you are an uplifter to the core of your being. But we are very happy to have this conversation early on in this forum, because there are a lot of people in this room who are also teachers and uplifters and healers. And you have a tendency, bless your hearts, you have a tendency to be thinking in terms of service of others to your own detriment. You work too long, you work too hard, you don't take good enough care of yourself, and you worry about others. And the thing about that is, you cannot vibrate for them, so you cannot be anyone else's point of attraction. And words don't teach. Odd that we offer so many. Words don't teach. It's your life experience that teaches. Everything that you said, we liked it so much. And everything you said, we agree with completely. But there's a little reordering of it that we would like to do. And that is, we want you to be happy for the sake of being happy, and then you can help others.
So in sequence, in order, do things.
Because we don't want you to want to help others in order to be happy. We want you to be happy because that's your natural state of being. And we want you to be happy because that's the most important thing that you can demonstrate to others. But there is a tendency, and you all do it every single day. Esther does it too. Doesn't mean to, doesn't want to. It's just sort of something that you've picked up along your physical trail. If you are really soaring and someone else isn't, you just adjust yourself down so you can visit with them. You do. You do. Because communication with them matters so much to you. Say it again, Esther. Communication with them matters too much to you. Communication with them becomes your top priority, raising them up, helping them to understand. And in the process, you tune yourself to their frequency out of the receptive mode, and then you don't have anything to give them. And so, when we encourage you to care about the way you feel, we encourage you to align with that source energy. And when you align with source energy, then you see the world through the eyes of source. And when you see those that you are interacting with and those that you are assisting through the eyes of Source, you have true compassion for them. And what true compassion for them is, holding your frequency with Source, not joining empathetically in their vibration. True compassion is believing in their well-being even when they are not demonstrating it. But if you allow yourself to fixate on their problem, then you join them empathetically, vibrationally, and then you don't feel so good.
Okay.
You see.
Thank you.